feels very well today.
Aw, poor buddy.
Yeah. All right. Let me move this leg down so I sit up straight. Sit up straight, Jules.
Yes.
Don't
Hey, I just got a
slouch.
notification. Tauren Think Tank started streaming.
Really? Well, golly.
Golly.
How did that happen?
Huh? What do you mean they're live?
What do you
I
mean?
don't.
This is going live and stuff. Let me go and do the thing with the stuff where we say I'm going. We are live.
We're going live. Live, live, live. Let it
Twitch.
live. What?
I just didn't expect that. The musical interlude I did not expect.
So the legendary dogs on Pokemon Go have started spawning all across the world
What?
now. Yep.
Almighty, what is this? This is amazing. How are you,
Hey,
stranger?
glad you're able to make it.
Yeah, no kidding. I so basically you're gonna become a Pokemon Go devotee for the next month.
Well,
are,
see,
but-
the thing is that the way they're doing the legendary dogs is that they've got the electric one. Raiku's going to be in the Americas for a month, and then NT is in Africa and Europe, and then Asia and the Pacific is going to have Suicune. So they're going to have the three for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that month, they're going to rotate positions. And then after a second month, they'll rotate again.
Okay.
So you have a month to get one. So I'm hoping maybe I can knock one out like this next. Well, I can't do it this next Monday because it's Labor Day. But maybe like the first week or two, I can knock one out. And so they'll at least have one. As long as I have one, then I'm like, okay, my collector drive has been satiated for just a little bit. But
and you're saying one of each, not just
one
like,
of each.
Yeah, like you need to have at least one of them in your inventory.
You gotta have at least
one of the three.
you gotta have at least one of the three. You gotta have at least one of all three of them.
Gotcha. Yep.
Gotta,
That's a good clarification point because it's like
you gotta complete the set. Gotta complete the set. Gotta catch them all.
That completionist show still not haunts me, but sticks with me. And I was thinking I don't know why I was thinking about it the other day. I was thinking about the collector thing, and I don't know, maybe
it was about the pins.
It might have been around pins, like talking about pins, BlizzCon pins, and everything like that. So today I went and picked up the backer pins for look at his eyes get thick.
that GIF I sent you in the text message was 100% appropriate.
Yeah, I decided to drive to South St. Paul to go pick up the pins from the vendor. And they came out really nice. They're amazing.
Sweet.
And, so I put it in my palm to kind of show the scale of it because it's a 2-inch. It's an 1.5 or 2-inch. I think it's a 2.5 inch. And it's bigger. It's bigger than expected it will be. And so, but
good.
So yeah, it was awesome. And of course I had to send that to Marconin. But I'm thinking about this and I'm like, yeah, this is really cool. I would actually probably like put this on the lapel of like a coat or something like that. And and then it was just like I still was like, that's probably the extent of where I would go, right?
Yeah,
like put it on the lapel of my coat, not collect. But this is a collector item because only 200 of them were made, and
Ooh.
they are a 5-year anniversary pin, so it's it's a limited thing, and it's only for people who back the Kickstarter. So it's this, it's an interesting, we just created rarity by doing it.
and see, that's how you do it. Cause
Right.
I, being a collector, I understand how that limited time and it even happened, I actually did something against my nature.
Ooh.
Because of the Overwatch Summer Games. I really wanted that Soldier 76 Grill Master skin, like so bad, because it looks awesome. But I got to the point where I was like, I am not going to spend money on this because they did a change to the loot boxes, where it's a reduced chance of duplicity. Like you'll reduce chance of getting duplicates. So that means they're nerfing your gold intake because if you get a duplicate, you get gold. So now I'm starved for gold. I'm sitting at like 2,700 gold. So I didn't have the 3,000 to buy it. And I'm like, I was thinking to myself, well, if I just buy like 20 or so loot boxes, I'm just going to get a bunch of sprays that aren't even related to the summer games because that's mostly what I get are sprays because that's what most of the things are. Like I'm going to waste money on sprays on the off chance that I get a duplicate or some gold enough to get this one skin that I want. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not doing it. So I got the American Soldier 76 out of a loot box. That's the one I wanted really bad from last year. So I was like, okay, I got the Soldier. So there's no Bastion skin for this year, or for this thing. So I'm like, okay, no need to get a Bastion skin. Or I also wanted the Junkrat too, but I was like, I'm not that big of a cricket fan. I don't ever watch cricket, so like, I know that's like a big thing, but I was like, I still have the Dr. Junkenstein skin. That's still my favorite to use. I've used that almost exclusively since last Halloween.
That's awesome.
So,
have you played Deathmatch yet? Have you been playing Deathmatch at all?
Yeah, I actually played the first 8 on 8 free for all death match, and I was awful. I was awful at it. There was the first game. There was a Hanzo that just I almost thought it was an aimbot because he would find me and shoot me in like 2 shots, and I was just like, really?
You're just like,
and then like 3 or 4 kills in a row. It's just like dead. Same guy. And then there was a Junkrat that was really good, and they changed Junkrat. So now he has 2 of his concussion bombs instead of just 1, or of his little bomb traps that he flings. So he can like double jump in the air, and it's nuts. I'm learning some new tricks with him doing the double jump. It's kind of fun. But yeah, I like the team deathmatch and then the deathmatch. Have you done it?
Yeah, I haven't played team deathmatch, but I've played regular deathmatch, and I think it's awesome. I'm actually improving my Sombra play on there, learning how to really make Sombra go. And I was so close to placing in the top 4 in one of the matches I was doing. I was riding number 2 for the longest time. And then I got run into a Symmetra who basically got a chance to set up. And it was like, oh my God. And I kept spawning in the same place, and the Symmetra had her all of her little sentry traps out. And I was just like, I could not get. And so she wound up killing me a bunch of times, knocked me down to 5th place. So I was like, no, I was like, I just wanted the win. So
I saw a Symmetra kind of mess. She tried to set up on my first game, and I was like, oh, that's sneaky.
Yeah.
That's sneaky.
Bam, that is correct. They're changing Mercy. She's on the PTR different right now. So her res is now an ability that's a single target, and it's got a 30-second cooldown. And they also... So, of course, she now has a new ultimate, which is called Valkyrie. And that is now she can fly. Not just, like, shoot to the person that she targets to go do that. She can fly. And she can... and her shots and her healing beams, both of them are enhanced. So she can shoot and hurt people and actually like do damage. And then her healing and her damage boost beams are both enhanced. It's pretty well. It's pretty good. I mean, I haven't tried it on PTR, but the doing the 4-man res sometimes was like crazy, but it was so frustrating to be on the opposite side of that.
Yeah, and I watched the video where Jeff Kaplan. Yeah, he was talking about that and about how they didn't like how Mercy would have to go hide, and they're like, okay, everybody die, and then come out. Like that doesn't quite fit.
Nope.
Her personality, her kit idea, and so that's why they did the changes. Which, yeah, every time I get Mercy, I do a lot of 6v6 mystery heroes because I'm not that good, so I just like. The off chance that we get 5 tank or three tanks and 3 healers on a control map or something, like, yay, RNG is on my side. But on the off chance that I'd get Mercy, I would just jump off the map. I'm just like, I'm horrible at Mercy. I just jump off the map. Same with Sombra too, because I was like, I don't have time to get good at Sombra in this map. So
I know.
Just give me something else.
I'll tell you what, once you get her, she is powerful. And I was
She's
just
annoying as hell.
wasting some people earlier, like the other day I think it was on Tuesday. I was just wasting people, and I was so busy. Like, we have so much work to do right now, and I just was like playing a couple death matches rounds, and Pat sending me a message going, "Did you do this? Did you check on this?" And I'm like, "Hang on, I'm in the middle of a match." Like, but I interrupt his Rocket League games all the time, so it's just yeah, that's why I play mystery heroes too, because there's no judgment if you suck. Everybody's playing stuff that they don't really know or have the larger chance of not knowing, so you don't get flamed for sucking on a character, and you might actually get a chance to practice it.
Yeah, and that is kind of, but man, whenever whenever the randomizer gives me Farah or Junkrat, I'm like, oh yeah,
you're just like,
oh yeah, it's on.
Die.
Those are my two. I was like, yeah, oh yeah, these are mine.
Hello, chat room. All you guys are popping in as we're just chalking away. We haven't talked to each other in 2 weeks. Like here or there, just a couple little text messages and stuff, but we haven't caught up at all.
I know, and it's been a heck of a 2 weeks. It's been a lot's been going on, and both in our lives and in the world in general. Mm-hmm. So it's been a heck of a 2 weeks, and I'm just glad for the chance to sit and talk. And as much as we have to perform here, it's also a chance where I can kind of relax. I don't have to worry about work or anything. It's the four walls and you guys. So that's why I'm just like, oh, okay. Hello, my friends and people. Let's go.
Let's have our Zen moment. Let's do a check on the sounders. We'll do this one.
Trifling gnome, your arrogance will be your undoing.
That sounds like it works. That's awesome. Excellent.
I still think about the one I did for last year's ringtones where I did that. When I said trifling human, is like that deep demon voice. I love that one.
I do too. That is awesome. All right.
Y'all need to come up with some audio ideas so I can have some reasons to do audio stuff.
Oh, they'll give you ideas.
The well is dry right now, so if you can send me some ideas for audio stuff, I would love it.
All right, chat room, let's ready check you guys. We've got a show, and it is packed full, so we're gonna get this train rolling, so we can tell you all the stuff that's been going on with us, and we can do a show, and we can read all the stuff you guys submitted, because there's lots of stuff, and it feels like we've been forever. All the ones are coming in, yeah! I'm excited.
You might have to remind me of that Pepe sound that you were talking about, 20. Was it just the sounds that Pepe makes? I remember that we talked about it, but I can't remember the details. So send me a DM or something if you want to talk about it, so we'll figure it out. Or you can tell me here, either way.
Yeah.
MacGyver, you hit the wrong key.
You hit the wrong key. Colin has a red E. I don't know what that is. All right, lovely people. It's so good to see you. We have so much to tell you. So let's just get on with it. You ready, Markonen?
Get it on.
Let's get... Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going down that road.
Somebody is going to clip that.
Yep. Not going to be me. We are on episode 242. You guys. Woo! Okay, episode 242 of Tauren Think Tank records in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 242 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, August 31st of 2017. It is 8:08 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and we are back with so much going on in the last 2 weeks. Holy crap. Buckle yourselves in for a really long show. Has the potential of being a really freaking long show, but we don't care because my name is Jules, and with me over there is the man in the moon. It's Marconin.
Our show is as long as it needs to be because it is ours. Hello, everybody.
I missed you, dude.
I missed you too.
I feel like we have been gone forever. It's only been 2 weeks, but I feel like we've been gone forever because so much has happened. Holy crap. It
really does. There's so many things have gone on in the last 2 weeks. I mean, I know I did a little bit of streaming last Thursday.
Yeah.
But even then, it wasn't quite the same as to be here with you guys. And it's just, like I was saying in the pre-show, it's good to be home. It's good to be back here with the four walls of this room, my camera, and you guys. So it's good to be back. It's wonderful to see you again, Jules, and to see everybody in the chat room and all you people listening later on. Hello.
I'm laughing because Draven already clipped one of my snafus from the pre-show. Thank you, Draven.
All right. Coming to Twitter near you.
I'm sure it's gonna hit Twitter soon, and if it didn't, it's gonna happen before I get off this show, and then I can retweet it later. So anyway, good Lord, let's get started. Talking about what has been going on. Just to warn you guys, there's a lot in the beginning of the show. We have a really good discussion topic, and then we've got a lot of stuff at the end. So the beginning is going to be a little bit top heavy with us, but it's good stuff. I think you'll enjoy it. So we'll start with Marconin. What have you been doing these last couple of weeks?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you guys lived in North America or if you currently do, but something happened like last Monday.
Yeah.
Like last 10 days ago.
Is that really only 10 days ago?
Yeah, it happens about every year and a half somewhere on the world. But as you know, 70% of the world is water. Therefore, even less amount of time does this happen on land. And even less does it happen in the United States and over North America. Of course, I'm talking about the total solar eclipse that happened last Monday. The last time that it's happened was in 1979. Last time, and the next time it'll happen is only 7 years away. So if you didn't get the chance to see this, and not just the partial eclipse, I'm talking about the big T, totality. If you did not get a chance to see this live in person with your own eyes, make plans to do it in 7 years, because I've seen it described by even great scientists that have a more secular mindset, like Michio Kaku, have said that this is the closest thing that someone with his worldview can get to a spiritual experience, is because of just thinking of the enormity of the universe and the small percentage chances that we would have a natural satellite 400 times smaller than the sun, yet 400 times closer than the sun. So that now, in our current history, where we are alive today and have been for hundreds of years, and it will not permanently be a permanent thing. One day the moon will be too far away, and we will never get this chance. Of course, we'll all be long gone by that point, because I'm talking about millions of years in the future. Please make a chance to go see this, because it's one of the most breathtaking things I have ever seen. Yes, I cried. Yes, I'm a sap. I know it. I've heard it. I don't care. Because
wait, somebody called you a sap for crying?
Yeah. They said it's just an eclipse. Yes, it's just an eclipse. But for someone like me who grew up, my bread and butter growing up was space.
Yeah.
Was wanting to be an astronaut, living and growing up in the age of the space shuttle. It wasn't the space race of the 60s, but by golly, even people who more than 12 people got to go to space when I was growing up. We had 7 at a time going up there, every space shuttle mission. And it's the closest I've gotten to experiencing it and having that kind of childlike wonder that I had when I was watching and raised on these things. And it was awe-inspiring. This whole one with the universe idea. Yeah, because you think about it, the sun, the moon, the earth, and you are all in perfect alignment. I mean, and the sheer fraction of a percentage of a chance that this would happen anywhere in the universe, let alone right here,
Yeah.
right now when you're alive is just minuscule. And if you think about it like that, we are extremely lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we're lucky anyway, but for this, it's immense and it's just gorgeous. And I was telling Jules before the show, I saw the moon the other night just in the sky. It was a first quarter moon, so it's only half of it showing. And like you go through a trial or a hard time or even a good time with somebody, with a friend, or with you've connected with someone on a deeper level, and you'll like exchange knowing glances about stuff, like you're in on the joke or you're in on it.
Yep.
But you're not saying it. Like, I feel that way with the moon. I know it's ridiculous, but that's kind of how I feel, because I feel like, yeah, we had that thing. Yeah, that was really cool.
You feel me, Moon. You feel me.
Yeah, I got you, brother. And it was so to cue the story, I went up to St. Louis to stay the weekend, and I met our good friend Bim and her husband RJ. They came down from Madison to see me, equal distance, so it worked out perfectly.
Right.
So we were down for the weekend. We went to the zoo the day before and everything, and we made plans to go down to St. Clair, Missouri, because that's where the maximum line of totality was. And the weather was looking really good.
Yeah.
So we didn't make any direct plans, but we went there anyway. Left a little early, and we got to St. Clair. There's not a whole lot of traffic. There's a lot, it's a smaller town, so there's a good amount of traffic. And as we're getting to, I looked up a list of places on their website, and there was a church that was saying they were doing barbecue, and they had a field behind the church where people could, picnic and all that stuff. I'm like, that sounds like a good place to try. And so we go through the city, and I'm seeing like parking lot parking, $5, $10, $25 parking, just in front of like a shop or someone's house. No parking here, and there's all this stuff. And we get to the church, and the lady is like, "Hey, it's free parking. Just come on in, park on the grass."
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, really? Oh, okay. So we get there, and like 2 cars later, they close the parking because we'd filled up. We got there just in time, and we went and they had opened up their church. They were serving food. They were like, "Hey, if you get too hot, come and cool off. We've got bottled water. We've got we've got bathrooms open. Anything you guys need." And they even had a map where you could put a pin in it wherever you lived. And people were there from South America, from the Middle East even, and Spain. Yeah, people were flocking around the world to come to this. And at this little church in the middle of a small town in Missouri, it was really cool. And there were a couple hundred people there, just picnicking. There people had their dogs. They playing frisbee. A couple people with drones flying around, and it just went. We had a couple hours to spare, so we're just sitting there relaxing and enjoying it. And then it starts to happen, and I've got my glasses on, and I'm seeing the moon just slowly creep across, and it was so surreal the way that light changes.
Yeah.
Shadows get harsh, like sharper shadows. It's like you're looking at oh man, just all the little things. You guys can look it up. Things like shadow bands and all of these eerie things that happen to the light in the ground. Like there were airplanes that altered direction right as totality hit so that they could show people where it hit. We saw the plane in the air change directions right before it happened.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it happened, and I took my glasses off, and I'm staring at this thing, and it is so gorgeous. Pictures and video don't compare to seeing it with your own 2 eyes and just looking around. The street lights came on. The cicadas started chirping like it was night. It got about 20 degrees cooler. It was crazy. It was a hot summer day.
Yeah. And
then it just cooled off into this pleasant fall day. Almost instantly when the shadow came over, and it was so cool. And I know some of you guys out there probably saw it, but for those of you that didn't, man, you got it. It truly is. It should be near the top of your bucket list. Come on now. If for nothing else, just to experience that. And I know if you don't have like this like deep love for the cosmos and the beauty and wonder of it all, like kind of like I do, just put it on your list.
Yeah.
Take your family, enjoy it. Luckily, the one in 7 years is coming right over my house.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
I may not have to go very far.
Yeah, you might just have to step
weather
outside.
cooperates. Yeah, if the weather cooperates, then yeah. But we're going to try and find a place for that one in 2024. It was we could have not had a better day. We lucked out with parking, with the place, with the people we were around. They were so friendly and so giving of their time and of their space there. And it was wonderful, and it was moving and amazing. And I could go on for the entire length of the show about it, but I won't. It was beautiful, and it was truly a gift.
That's awesome.
It's just that's the best way to say it. It was a beautiful gift to be able to do that.
Here in Minneapolis, it was bright and sunny until it started, and then the clouds and the rain came, and I saw nothing. Yeah. So so I was really bummed. I was just like, oh man, because like this huge storm just like came in.
Yeah.
Boom. So it really sucked. But I was watching the live streams at least to get a sense of it, but I got a text like shortly after everything had ended from Marcoden, and he was just like, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, that's so cool, dude.
Yeah. It truly was. And you can ask Bim. She had to give me a big old hug after it ended, because I was just sitting there, I was a mess. It was so just moving.
Yeah.
Is just more and you hear the word awesome and awe-inspiring all the time. This is the definition of awe-inspiring and awesome.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it is beautiful. So big shout out and thank you to RJ and Bim for hanging out with me for the weekend. We had a great time. It was awesome to go up there. We traded local beers. I brought some up from Little Rock, and they brought some down from Wisconsin. Did a little beer trade while we were there.
That's great.
It was a good weekend. It was a good time.
Good.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Anything?
Well, last week we didn't have the show, but I did do a Mount Run stream.
Yes.
And I was doing Mogashawn vaults. And it dropped on the second attempt. Like 15 minutes into the stream.
What dropped?
Elegon's mount from Mogashawn vault.
You sent that to me, and I was like, is that what I think it is? It's amazing. Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I did it on the stream, and I had like a half dozen people there. The thing is, though, is I learned that when Twitch started their new program with, I guess it's, what is it, partnerships or whatever, they automatically unchecked the save clips feature.
Yeah, like it's something you have to turn on.
Yeah, well, I had it turned on before, but they turned it off when they started the new thing, so I had to turn it back on again.
Yeah.
So I don't have a clip of me getting it because my jaw was on the floor, and I was like, finally. You can ask anybody there. I was very happy for that to finally drop. So I do have the Astral Cloud Serpent finally.
Yay.
And I am currently spending all my free time on Argus, hunting more mounts. Already got one, hunting more now. So we are, I am in full mount mode. So you may see, good luck, RNG willing, I will have more mounts soon.
Yes.
Even more.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Very, very cool.
Thank you. So that was, I saw the Eclipse, and then I got a Cloud Serpent made of stars. So what could be better?
Very, very cool.
So what's been going on in your neck of the woods? I know that, you kind of just like bounced down to Anaheim for something, just for the weekend or something. Just a little R&R, right? You didn't do too much work down there, did you? You kind of just enjoyed yourself, kind of prepped for BlizzCon. How's your 2 weeks been going there?
Oh my gosh. So the reason why we didn't have a show last week is because I was in Anaheim, California I was there for a convention called Podcast Movement, where Pat Crane and I we had a booth at that convention to work on his newest project, which is called Podcast Launchpad. And it's the quick start guide and services like editing and coaching and consulting and all those things. So we were really there to kind of gauge how well this was being received by people. And Pat was also a speaker at the convention. So it was this kind of new experience for the two of us. I've done trade shows before, but really he had not for a while. And it's really weird because we were staying at the Hilton at the Anaheim Convention Center, and the convention was at the Marriott across the street. So we were in this space that we're so familiar with, and BlizzCon is not going on, which was really
Gotta be weird.
Oh, dude. All it was families going to Disney. It was, and then all of these people, the business people doing this convention stuff. But it was like the Hilton was completely all families, doing the whole Disney thing. And when we would get up early in the morning to go get some breakfast, there was like bleary-eyed families going down to like start going their way to Disney. Maybe some of them were walking. So it's like they're really tired, but they're gonna start their day to Disney.
Gotta get these kids to see Mickey.
That's
Jeez.
right.
I need coffee.
The exhausted children with their blinky ears, and it's just like really funny. So it was a completely surreal experience to be there for the weekend. Or actually, we're there for the week. We got there Tuesday and we left on Saturday. Convention went really well. We met a ton of people. We met a lot of gamers, which was very interesting. And because these are all just podcasters, it doesn't really matter what their topic was. It's about podcasting. Very businessy, which is not my enjoyment. It's like there's just a lot of like networky kind of smarmy thing people and stuff. But then there were like all these really cool gamers. So we met some of them. Good. And so we worked our butts off. Like we were exhausted every night. It's just the two of us sitting there bleary-eyed over dinner, just kind of staring at each other because you're just like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. But we got a chance to go over to the Blizzard offices on Friday.
Oh.
And this was a really awesome treat for me too, because every time that I have gone before, it's during BlizzCon, which means that everything is like locked down. There's no like statues are all over at the convention center. Everything is not in place. So now everything is like, where it normally is. And so we got to go around to some of the other buildings that I've never seen before to see the statues and everything like that. The cool thing that I got to tell you guys though, and Mark Conan will relate to this, is that when you go to the lobby inside Blizzard, there's a museum on the left-hand side off of the lobby that's, changed out every couple of months to different games. When we were there, it was Heroes of the Storm the last time, and this time it was Overwatch. So Sweet. Art was all over, and you could like change your voice to be Bastion, and it was like it was so cool. There was all these things going on, and some of the cosplayer weapons and armor that had been left behind from previous BlizzCons. And off of that that whole area, that museum area, there's a theater. And I've seen the theater in the past. I've gone into the theater in the past, and it's usually a place where they do like meetings and things like that. But now the doors are changed, and it's these bright silver doors with the Overwatch logo on it. And we were touring with Whammo. You guys recognize him from Twitter, Mark Reiner, and Randy Deluxe from previously from The Instance and also from FilmSack. And they said to us, that room now is where they do the negotiations and meetings for Overwatch League.
Oh boy.
And nobody can go in there. Like you cannot, like nobody from the outside can go in there.
Uh-huh.
And so we were like, oh God, they're like, no, you really can't go in there. But I'm like, oh, so like there's billionaires that are walking through this space, walked right through the space to negotiate deals for Overwatch League, which was really like crazy cool.
That is really cool.
I got to see the big sign for Ice Cream Citadel that they had at San Diego Comic-Con. It's all wrapped in plastic and it's about to be mounted on the wall. I got to see that. I got to see this massive frozen throne, and they took my picture sitting in it. Yeah, it was really fun. And just a lot of the other statues. We got to go see the Alliance Chopper. No, the Horde Chopper. It was the Horde Chopper we saw. And just all of these really, really neat things. Other things that I can't talk about, but then wound up having a really fun dinner with Lore and Randy Deluxe and his wife Sam Jane. and their son Will, and we had got a chance. Brian Holinka stopped by. It was just like we had like I was sitting here going, "This is my life. This is so weird." And we had so much fun. It was kind of unreal, but it was really nice to spend some time, talking to the Blizzard guys for a bit. So did that and got home on Saturday completely exhausted. Had about a day to like catch up on sleep because I didn't get a lot of sleep, and now we're just bang on focused on BlizzCon. Holy crap, it's almost here. It's like, it's less than 60 days. Well, it's a little over 60 days to go, and we have a lot to do.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap. So yes, and on top of all of that, been working on something else. As you guys know, our friends in Texas and Louisiana and also Arkansas has been affected by the devastation from Hurricane Harvey. And we have a lot of guildies in the Convert to Raid Guild who have been affected by this storm, flooding, devastation, homes destroyed. And we wanted to do something. We felt like we really needed to do something. And so yesterday I put the plans in place for us to do a Convert to Raid fundraiser stream on Monday, this coming Monday, which is September 4th, which is Labor Day, and I know that it's a holiday, but we really wanted to try to get this going soon. So starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's 6 p.m. Pacific, and it's going to go for 4 hours on Convert to Raid's Twitch, twitch.tv/Convert to Raid. We're doing viewer games, like community games. We're going to play together, and we'll be raising money to help those affected by Hurricane Harvey. We're actually going to be all the proceeds are going to go towards a charity called Team Rubicon, which is a charity and a organization that unites the skills and experiences of military veterans with first responders to rapidly deploy emergency response teams. And personal experience from people who have worked with Team Rubicon, have volunteered for them, say that they are an excellent organization. So we're really proud to support them. If you are interested in coming to the live stream to come play with us, please do. It starts again 9 o'clock Eastern on Monday, which is the 4th of September, and that's twitch.tv/Convert to Raid. If you would like to support the fund currently, you can do so. It is live. And the quick link to get there is tinyurl.com/CTR Harvey Relief. Again, that's tinyurl.com/CTR Harvey Relief. And we've already received some support as well on that. Thank you guys so much. We're really proud to be able to do something to help. So, and I also encourage you guys to check out the Heroes Hype team, who's going to be streaming all weekend. And they're a wonderful organization of people. We've been in touch with them. They're supporting us. We are supporting them in terms of getting the word out. They're going to be playing with a bunch of different streamers all during the weekend, and there'll be viewer games if you want to play Heroes of the Storm. And we will be doing Overwatch and Heroes and Jackbox games and all that stuff. So please come hang out with us. We're really excited to do something to help.
Absolutely. Yeah. I kept commenting today while I was at work that it was such a nice day out. It was a little overcast, but it was breezy. It was cool. And, every time I thought that, I remembered, well, this is what's left of Hurricane Harvey going over my head.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I saw the remnants of Katrina go over Arkansas in 2005. It's beautiful, but it was this huge devastation.
Yeah.
This just natural disaster. And people lost their life in it, and the national conversation the last couple of weeks has been really awful at times and toxic at times, but things like this stuff that hits people no matter who they are, what they believe, or who they are as a person, things like this that affect everybody in the area, this will show you the good in humanity. And I'm not talking about the CTR stream in particular. I'm talking about all the stories that I've heard and I've seen of people helping people no matter who they are. It's because that's what we're built to do, is to help each other. And it's a good reminder that wherever you are in your life or whatever you believe or whatever you think or whoever you are, at the end of the day, we're all human beings and we all need to help each other because that's the only way we're going to get through it. And I just wanted to say that. And I think you're all awesome.
Okay. So with that, let's get into our discussion topic of the night. I'm looking forward to this one. This should be really good.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
You guys have been patient.
Yes, you have been patient. Thanks for getting all of the all of the updates from us. Here we go.
Let's kick around some ideas, not gnomes.
Poor gnome.
Always. He's had a few weeks off though.
He has,
So-
and that's been, he's been rested.
Now
Probably
it's
just-
fresh wounds again.
Fresh wounds again. So, we didn't have any topics in the show hopper this week. So I was thinking through some of the things that had happened over the week and things that are kind of in my brain. And so this show topic came with some of the stuff that I was thinking this week. And so the topic this week is about patience, but it's also related to patience in our current culture of instant gratification. And I know, okay, I'm going to clarify this right away. I'm not going to sit here, I hope we are not going to sit here and say, those damn kids never had it so good, blah, 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 blah. That's not what this is about. It's thinking about it from a perspective of, I believe that we as a culture are becoming less and less patient with everything because we don't have to be.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
oh, and this came to me because we had rather a difficult trip home coming back from Anaheim, and it was pretty frustrating. And we had, so you go to the airport and it's kind of chaos and they send you to these little kiosks now. You don't go up to a counter. And when we went to the kiosk, it's supposed to print your baggage tags and the printer jammed in the kiosk. And so we only got 1 out of 3 tags that we needed. So we had to go and find help. And it's LAX. It's crazy. So we wind up standing in this line that's quite long and, kind of frustrating because it's all like people who are dealing with pretty complex issues. So every time someone helps one of the people behind the counter help someone, it took at least 10 minutes to help them. And there were only 2 people working. So I was saying to myself, I'm like, okay. And after all the stuff that we went through a bunch of stuff that really kind of tested my patience, like really tested my patience. And I'm usually okay. I can usually kind of just be tolerant about it. But I was just like, I am riled up, you guys. Like I am just rawr. And I was like, man. And then it was like, I'm expecting to be helped right away. I'm expecting this to be fixed right away. I'm expecting that this is supposed to work when it's supposed to work. And that's where this show topic came from. So let's open this discussion. Let's you jump in here. I've got a bunch of stuff. I did a bunch of reading. I've got a bunch of data and statistics and food for thought. But let's start with you.
So yeah, when you were talking about your story, it reminds me. I think it's Louis C.K. who is talking about cell phones and about how when they mess up, you're so, gosh, stupid phone, and you're angry about it. It's like, do you realize what you have in your hands? You have a magical device that sends a signal to space and back, so that you can order something on free 2-day shipping on Amazon Prime. Like, do you realize how wonderful this is? And I'm guilty of it. I think we all are to a sense, because man, I still remember when images would load line by line
Yes.
on dial-up, and for just things to be instant. And I feel that way when the internet is slightly slow on my phone, because like, oh, I don't have good service. I can't stream my YouTube video, or listen to a podcast while driving down the road because it's switching towers. And it's perspective, I think, is one key to understanding how to recapture this sense of patience, is to understand the context in which you're feeling this way. Because to me, whenever and I deal with customer service stuff a lot.
Me too.
And I have for years in retail, and a lot of you guys out there have done retail. I know Jules has too. But this whole instant gratification of my problem, kind of on the other side of where you were, because you're expecting this thing to work and it doesn't. And understanding that, people on the receiving end of that have to be even more patient, because we understand that you are wanting this fixed now, but sometimes we can't, and we have to be understanding and try and communicate that we are working on it and all these other things, because I understand how the culture is getting this way, this instant gratification of my phone is immediate. I get free 2-day shipping on Amazon. Why is it delayed? Why hasn't it left the thing yet? Why can't I'm looking at it right now. Why hasn't it left the post office? Why is it sitting at the post office? It could be on my doorstep right now. Mm-hmm. I need this thing that I ordered a day ago and came across the country. And now it's sitting a mile from my house at the post office behind a door. Right. Wow. All these little things. And it's just a product of the way technology has gone, and things have just moved faster and faster. We're kind of losing our sense of context and our sense of perspective. Yeah. And I think that that's one of the keys to maybe combating this anxiety that we get sometimes when things don't work exactly when we want to, how we want to, why we want to. And just kind of release some of that tension to understand the context and the greater picture, the bigger picture, the picture that's bigger than you and your phone and trying to find the next cat meme picture to print or to tweet out. Right. To print. Who prints? So 90s of me to print out a picture. So
90s. Well, listen to this article that I had found from the Boston Globe. And they cite a Pew Research Center Internet and American Life project, and it did a study about people under the age of 35 and the dangers of their hyperconnective lives with what sounds like a prescriptive drug warning. And it says negative effects include a need for instant gratification and a loss of patience. Like, that is now being explained as a negative side effect and that this is part of the study too. We've come to expect things so quickly that researchers found that people can't wait more than a few seconds for a video to load. Ramesh Sitaraman, a computer science professor at UMass Amherst, examined the viewing habits of 6.7 million internet users in a study released it was a couple years ago. How long were subjects be willing to be patient? 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. After that, they started abandoning, Sitaraman said. After 5 seconds, the abandonment rate is 25%. And when you get to 10 seconds, half are gone. So the results, he says, offer a glimpse into the future. As internet speeds increase, people will be even less willing to wait for that cute puppy video. Sitaraman says, who spent years developing the study, worries someday people will be too impatient to conduct studies on patience.
Well, one thing that reminded me of is dead air on the radio, because this is not a new phenomenon. If there's dead air on a radio station, after a couple of seconds, that's the thing that kills ratings, is dead air. If there's nothing on, if people tune in for a couple seconds, there's no music, there's no talk, there's no nothing, you switch. Yeah. So that's not an entirely new phenomenon, but this shows it's an extension of it. Mm-hmm. And just the way our technology reaches farther, it can become an even bigger, it'll affect more people.
Yeah. Well, and
I think that's a really cool study.
It's a really cool study, and it was kind of, it makes sense, and it's kind of jarring when you think about it, because I thought about it from my own perspective too, and I get impatient about a lot of stuff. I will be the first person to say I am not a very patient person. I practice patience because it is, in my nature to be like, go, 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 get it done, move forward. And earlier, Tiber said, I think the reason we're less patient now is because all of our time is booked pretty tight. So if something doesn't happen as planned, it throws a big wrench into your whole life. And that is so true because, now take that backwards a little bit to the culture, even for the generation that is coming up now, where everything in the young children's lives are scheduled to the nth degree. It's like, it's so different than it used to be, where you just go out and you just play in the yard and play in your friends' backyards and the street, and it's so different.
Here's a stick. I'll call you when dinner's ready.
Right?
Come
home when the street lights come on,
Yeah. And Lord help you if you hear your mother or your father say your first and middle name.
To call you home.
Yeah, to call you home. If they use that middle name, you're in deep doo-doo.
Yeah. And now they can call you on your cell phone and tell you to come home,
I had a question for a client today at work, and she was like, I don't know the password to this. Let me call my son. And her son was in class, and as soon as got off the phone with her, he texted her the information she needed. Like, it was instant.
Yep.
And I was like, that's kind of cool.
So thinking about it from a perspective of, we're getting faster and faster and faster with everything. It's now Amazon has same day service, delivery and things like that. More and more people are not even they're not waiting more than a day to get the latest whatever. Everything is digital. And Wonder Woman came out, I had the digital copy. It was like, and I didn't have to go out to the store to go buy the DVD to come home, or in my my younger days, it was the VHS tape,
Mm-hmm.
So we are becoming so cultured to expect things to be fast and quick and easy and convenient that when they aren't, it's causing more and more. The patience levels are definitely dropping. And I see that. I'm just seeing it more and more where people are just like, this went wrong. And it's just this like meltdown. I mean, we got to the convention this week, and I had ordered stuff from Vistaprint and had them sent ahead to a friend in California, and she actually dropped them off for us. And one of them was business cards, one set for me and one set for Pat with the Podcast Launchpad logo on them. And mine came in properly, and his did not. His were printed with the front side that said Podcast Launchpad, and the back is blank. So he has no business cards for this convention, and we are at this booth. And I'm like, okay, well, I could melt down and be freaked out, or I can just try and, figure out how to fix it. And so I called Vistaprint. Unfortunately, they couldn't get them fixed in time, but it was like, okay, well, we'll send you a new set. And it's like, well, there's nothing I can do, so I might as well not get freaked out about it, but we'll just make do with what we've got. We'll figure it out. And so I got a message from Pat yesterday, and he says, guess what? The new cards came in, and they're exactly the same wrong print as they were the last time.
My goodness.
So now I'm like, oh my gosh, you are kidding me. So I called them the first time I got on their text chat. This time I called them, and I had to restrain my frustration, to that, and saying, why are these wrong again? And they had no answer for me. They said they didn't know. Their solution was, maybe you should order a different stock next time. And I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't seem. I had to ask for a credit because they just gave me extra cards the last time. I'm like, no, you've screwed up twice. Can you please do something more for me? And I still kept my patience, and I was so proud of myself. But could you imagine somebody that in your life who doesn't have that patience and could just be like completely flipped out?
I've seen it.
You've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it's one of those situations where I kind of have to sit in silence because I'm like, I wouldn't have handled it that way.
Right.
I have this. Well, and it's not just to and for that, it's more so customer service and helping people, and that kind of that aspect is kind of where, but also with the patience thing too, it's like you can't slow your roll there. We'll get this figured out one way or another. Let's find out.
Yeah.
I'm one thing at work, we never say I don't know. Instead, we say I'll find out,
or I'll ask and get back to you about it.
Yeah, because that's more constructive, and that at least that doesn't, in this quest for getting the thing that you want, saying I don't know is a roadblock. Mm-hmm. It's saying I don't know, end of story. Yep. But if you say I'll find out, that gives you an out that continues, their expectations, and they're less likely to be as mad.
And that happened to me. They didn't know why this happened twice, and I'm like, well, could you tell me? Like, could you figure it out? Your only solution is to don't order the business cards with the rounded corners. Like that's the answer you have for me. So yeah, that's. But I was very nice, and I was very patient, and I was very polite, because I've been in those shoes. But there's so many people who are just bombard in there too.
Yeah, and I've been there too. I've been there when I've had to deal with things, and I'm on the hey, this needs to get fixed, and I'm very, like I said, you have to rein it in a little bit, but you can still, I could hear it in my voice a little bit. Yeah. That nervous, I'm gonna kill you laughter. Like, can we fix this, please?
Yeah.
Can we fix this, please?
Oh, I was like that when I moved to this to my condo, in relation to Comcast. Oh, Comcast. Because I had worked really hard to make sure that my internet was supposed to be easily transferred over when I got here, because you know what? This is my job. I work from my home. I need my internet working, and I need it to be up and running the day that I move. And so, the issue, long story short, they screwed up royally, and it wasn't working when I got here, and I was on the phone with someone who was actually being very rude to me for asking to be fixed. And I finally just, she had me in silence while she was doing whatever, and I said, "Are you still there?" And she's like, "Yes, ma'am, I'm here. I'm still working on the problem." And I said, "Can you explain to me what you are doing?" She just sat there in silence, and it was 10 minutes, and it was, and I'm like, "You need to at least keep me in the loop of what is going on." And I said, finally I'm like, "Do you understand? Do you know what you're doing?" And I just do. In my sense, I just had the sense that she did not know what she was doing. And then I snapped when she said, "Ma'am, you need to be patient with me, and you need to let me do my job." And I said, "Let me talk to your supervisor right now." And she refused. She refused to transfer me to her supervisor.
Oh, wow.
So I hung up on her, and I called back, and the person that I got on the phone, and I said, "I don't even want to hear your spiel. I just want to talk to a supervisor now." It was just I am done. I am done.
Oh, man.
You have gotten bitchy Jules on the phone. And
oh, man. She's going to cut you.
Oh, she's going to cut you. She'll cut you. Yeah, I've said this before. It takes a lot to push me over the edge. And when you get me there, I'm not going to come back very quickly. But the point being is that, I really do try to practice patience. And we're going to get into some of that in the show. In just a little bit, but I have something else that I wanted to discuss with you, and I am not calling you out on this, I swear. Uh-oh. But it's something that I came across in my reading for this, and I found it really very interesting. And that is from 2013. There was an article from CNN that said 76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and this article that I read was hypothesizing why this was, and said that our culture of instant gratification, of being able to get things quickly and easily, and I want it, I've got it, is a large cause of that phenomenon.
I think it's definitely a contributing factor. Absolutely. We do have the availability of a lot of things, and it's different than earlier generations insofar as I think pop culture is concerned. As I talk in front of a wall of Funko Pop figures, yes, I understand. What's the word? um, the merchandise, not merchandising. What's the word? Just the culture of having all this merchandise, all the things that you can have, all these fandoms. When earlier generations, they didn't quite have the stuff. Like if you liked a TV show like Bonanza, you liked the TV show, and if you were a kid, you'd get like the lunchbox, or you'd get like a couple of action figures. But I think possibly even Star Wars was the first licensed product toy line thing that exploded in popularity, and ever since then there's been this huge just outpouring of, we need to make all of these things that people want. I'm speaking just from my own experience, because yes, I do collect things.
Right.
Mostly they are action figures or statues or Funko figures or what have you. Ever since then, there's been this huge outpouring of merchandise, and people want it. And I'm talking from the collector mindset. So this is how I feel. I want to have these things. They're cool. I want to display them. And I think it does feed into this thing of like, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should put that money back for something else. Because, I live paycheck to paycheck. I have $1.50 in my bank account today. I get paid tomorrow, but today I have $1 to my name. And there's many different factors in that. And yes, there's things I could do. I could sell my whole collection and make money, but that's how I am.
Again, I'm not calling you out on this. I just found it was really an interesting thing to think about when you talk about instant gratification, when you talk about take my money, when you're talking about all those things, And so on the converse side, I do not live paycheck to paycheck because I'm very conscious about making sure that I have a robust emergency fund in case things go wrong, because it's just me,
Yeah.
It's just me.
Yeah, and I mean, I do, I contribute to my 401k every pay period. I have retirement things. We have savings, but could it be a lot better? Yeah, but so would having a more stable situation for me would be ideal as well. Yeah. So, we make it work, but right. It's, we try to save some, but things happen and all this stuff. But I do think that this instant gratification that we have and the need for things, and there being more things to have. I mean, like I said, the action figures, you'd get maybe 4 or 5. And now for these things, companies know that there's a market for these things. So right. they pump it out. I mean, heck, look at Funko, man. Every TV show, movie, comics, movies that aren't even out yet, TV shows that are in pre-production, they're already making these things because people want them. People are going to buy them. Holy crap. Let's change one set of the colors and put it out in a limited edition, and we're going to make hand over fist money.
Oh, yeah. They just print their own money.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that I am not immune to that. Like, there are things like that come out, like a Harry Potter loot crate, where you can get, like, you could select your own house and you can get, like something apparel wise of I saw that and I'm like, I want this, and I was like, I don't need this, and so I have to stop myself from that impulse, because I have it too. I mean, I have those things where I'm like, I'm pretty, like, I'm really, like, stupid disciplined about that stuff sometimes. And it's just, sometimes it's a detriment because I don't always do the things that I enjoy because I'm afraid to spend money.
Yeah. And we talked about this before. Was it before the show or during the show? Talked about Overwatch and about the summer games.
You did, or during the show. Yeah. Earlier.
It was in the show?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
good.
So. Wasn't it?
It might have been before.
I don't know. You guys will tell us if it was in there. We talked about it at some point. It was a loot box and wanting a certain skin, and yeah. Yeah,
and I didn't spend any extra money to buy them. I didn't buy any loot boxes during the summer games this year, even though I really wanted the Grillmaster 76 one.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need to spend that money. I don't need to spend that money. So I have my moments. In fact, I set a maximum price for the Spectral Murloc Funko figure. I was like, I'm not going to spend over this much. Right. And every time the price goes up on eBay past that, I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I do have self-control.
Yeah.
It's, and and Sparrow Cosplay said, I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, but I think be accurate to say I'm working on moving from the Marconin end of the spectrum to the Jules one when it comes to saving. I am too.
It's just it's a very interesting study, and
It is.
and a very honest admission from you and from me about the way that we see the world. And I know you guys fall on both sides of that spectrum. It's just an interesting point to look at when you think about instant gratification and and our financial wealth and health of that. So I think that I was reading all these articles, so I kind of made a bunch of notes in here, and then I said, okay, well, this discussion needs to go into the direction of how do we practice patience, because I think it's a very important thing to talk about, because you guys were raising awareness of it. You may have a moment during the show where you're like, oh gosh, that's me. Oh gosh, I do that. So how do you do this? How do you practice patience? And I found a really awesome blog on Psychology Today. It was very, very poignant, and I took down some of the notes from this, and it says first, recognize that impatience has arisen. So and then there were 4 points about impatience and patience that I was like, oh gosh, that's so true. And think about this and see if it ties into your guys' life. When we get impatient, sometimes we expect the environment to conform to our expectations. Like, we don't expect that there's going to be traffic on the freeway, or there's not going to be any parking spaces at the church when I go to see the eclipse. There's going to be parking, right? And it would be really sucky if it didn't. There's no long lines or airport delays or no waiting for food too long to arrive. Like, that's what we expect. And we expect that the environment should conform to what we expect. So if it doesn't, there goes your temper.
It's all about me.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a very selfish. It's a selfish view, and we are selfish. It's not. We focus. Our view comes through our 2 eyes, so we are the focal point of it, and how it affects us is how it is perceived. And so there's that. There's also that we expect people to conform to our expectations. So we think that people are supposed to behave a certain way, and then when they don't, it's gonna piss us off. Like, that woman ahead of me in the checkout line should not be making small talk with the cashier because I am on my lunch break and I have to get back, and she is wasting my time, and that is annoying as hell. Right? There's an example. If this person said he was going to phone at 3:00, he should phone at 3:00. I am guilty of this. Like, oh, I'm so guilty of this. Here's another one that drives me bonkers, and I resist like complaining about this like once a week. I swear to you guys. People who do not check their emails when you are trying to reach them. Come on. Like, I don't understand this. I literally was working on something for someone who was waiting for something from me, and I delivered it through email with a, how is this? Is this okay? And they did not respond to me for a week. They were waiting for me to give them this thing. And I'm like, what? And then so I respond, hey, did you get my email? Still nothing. Like, you were waiting for me. Oh, I didn't check my emails. I don't understand this. I don't understand not checking your emails. This makes me crazy. I don't understand. There are people with the Kickstarter and trying to chase them down to get their shirt sizes. Like, they paid money to get stuff, and it took 5 emails to actually get them to answer and to say, will you please tell me what shirt size you want, because you're not answering.
That's all I need.
It's just all I
need. A size.
So this is something I am 100% guilty of, and I admit it to everybody right now. Completely. I expect people to conform to my expectations. Our expectations are often unrealistic when it comes to mastering new skills. Mark Honan, yes.
That's me.
Whether it's taking up a new craft or figuring out a new computer application or learning a new do-it-yourself fixed-it skill, we think we should be able to master new skills quickly, no matter how foreign or difficult they are to us.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on something right now, and I've gotten discouraged because it doesn't look how I think it would, and it didn't work out quite how I thought it would, but it's not, and it kind of, it's like, I'm not good at this yet, but then I got to think, well, it did, I couldn't really play college level trombone the first week that I picked up the horn either, so I just had to keep reminding myself of that. And I was like, but I want it to be perfect the first time.
Yeah.
I want it to look awesome and be cool the first time, and it's just not. And I'm like, well. So I just have to keep pushing through. So that's something I need to work on too.
Yeah, and how many times do you see people on Twitter saying, if you are someone who likes to draw and you're trying to learn, it's like that. I've seen this so many times. People say that the practice is what makes you improve. It's not, oh, you're so talented. It's no, I worked for this. I learned. I practiced the craft. Same thing with any skill. And yet we expect that we should be like masterful at it right away.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because, we get all this instant gratification, and it does, it translates into us wanting to be good at something immediately, because that's how we get everything else is instantly. So just download it to my brain, Morpheus, please.
Wouldn't that be cool? And finally, our expectations are almost always unrealistic when it comes to what goes on in our minds. We think we should be able to control what thoughts and what emotions arise, but when unwelcome thoughts and emotions pop up all the time, it's the nature of the mind to think and to emote. Certainly being impatient doesn't put a stop to it. It's amazing. Like I read this and I was like, hello, like this is awesome. Like that makes perfect sense. So if you can recognize that impatience has arisen, you've already won half the battle, because now you said, I'm doing that thing where I do that thing. And it's knowing and putting a name to it, right? Second step would be to investigate how impatience feels in your mind and in your body. Do you get tensed up? Are you heart racing?
Yeah, you start getting neck and shoulder pain because your muscles are all tightened up into knots, and you've got an uneasy feeling in your stomach, and you're like, why doesn't this work?
Yeah. I'm working on a project, a chainmail project. And I'm learning a new weave design. And it seems to be, when I read the tutorial, it says it looks like it's going to be pretty easy. I should be able to master this right away. And I messed up on this thing numerous times. And I couldn't figure out what I had done. And and I couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. It should be working. This should be working just like this. Why am I not getting this? And I almost quit. I almost gave up. And I'm like, no, you're not going to quit. You're not going to stop. You're going to keep working at this until you figure it out. Take a break if you have to, but it's not my initial. So I was having the thing where I was learning a new thing and I thought I should be able to do it right away. Got anxious and frustrated and disappointed in myself because I thought that I should be smarter than that. And then I almost quit and left it behind. And if I had done that, I wouldn't be like halfway done with this amazing project that I'm going to be super proud of when it's done, Yeah. And so that, like, I realized that I was getting impatient, and I stopped myself and I took a breather and I came back at it again and I said, you're not going to quit. And I'm still figuring out, like, I will leave it and I will come back and I will have forgotten what I had learned. I have to relearn what I did. How did I do that again? Yep. But it's gonna click, and when it clicks, I'm gonna be really stupid proud of myself.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be well worth the outcome is gonna be well worth your patience and your determination to see it through.
Exactly. So I recognized how it felt in my brain, how it felt in my body, what I was doing, what I was thinking, and that is, again, you put a name to it. Now you need to call it out to yourself and say, this is what's happening. And by then you should be able to start transforming impatience into patience, to say, okay, I'm gonna wait this out. I'm gonna I can't control this situation. If you're stuck on a plane somewhere and you can't go anywhere, like you literally cannot go anywhere, check traffic jam. This is out of your control. You're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to be late, or, I'm going to explain what's going to happen. You woke up late for work, and, it's like, just what am I going to do?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much you can do.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that that the impatience a lot of times, well, pretty much every time, is the impatience is you are upset about something that is something you can't control, not doing what you want it to. You don't have control. What good is it to get upset over something you have no control over?
Yeah.
And that's the part when you realize that you've got this impatience. So you got to recognize, hey, some of these things I don't have control over. Mm-hmm. So I should. And that's when you can start working on transforming the impatience into patience. That realization that over these things I have no control. Therefore, I should not be feeling this way. I should not have my shoulders tensed up. Oh, wow, that hurts. Let's relax. Let's take some breaths. Let me go do something else for a bit. I'll come back to it. Or that's the way it goes. I'll be late to work today. Just apologize to the boss. Or, oh, I forgot this thing and now I'll do this. Just that realization. And in college, I had a lot of this patience. I had a lot of patience in college. I think it's because I didn't have all of the big worries that you have when you are in full-blown adulthood, bills, rent, everything like that.
Yeah.
The patience was a lot easier to have back then. Because it didn't affect me so much. Right. And now it is really a struggle. And I remember those times of kind of the c'est la vie, I can't fix it, so let's just roll with it and try to do better, try to avoid it next time. It's such a much harder thing to do now for me where I'm at. And I know it's that light way for a lot of people, but I remember those days, and just trying to remember how it was and try to replicate that is something that I've been working on.
Yeah.
And, and that's a good practice, is to, trying not to fret over the things you have no control over, or realizing that you have no control and that it's an exercise in futility to be so worked up over it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can be upset that your internet's not working because the cable company screwed up, but once you've told them and all this stuff, it's out of your hands as far as that goes, and you just have to wait and then go from there. And it's the waiting that sucks, but it's also the waiting that, like I said, perspective. Like, take things into perspective. You're like, I don't have internet tonight. What could I do instead? There's a book I haven't read in a while. Or, maybe I'm going to go drive around the neighborhood. Or I haven't been to the new Italian restaurant that opened downtown. Let's go try that. Or, it gives you a chance to kind of, look at the world around you, because we get so focused on our phones. On our computers. We have and I'm guilty of it too. I'm not going to sit here on a high horse. I'm in line at Whole Foods this morning getting breakfast. I'm on my phone the whole time, and I try not to do that because I know it's rude. But once I get up to the clerk and I talk to them, but for the 30 seconds that I was the second person in line, I'm sitting there looking through Twitter. I'm like, there's nothing worth my time on Twitter in 30 seconds. I'm not going to have this world-changing revelation on Twitter. Why am I not just sitting and enjoying? Life is the thing that happens while you're focused on other things. This whole perspective is getting this greater awareness of yourself and where you are. And, it kind of goes back to seeing the eclipse and seeing the grandeur of the universe and all that stuff. It's the big picture that we don't look at enough in our walks. Yeah. And I think that's something that we really need to take in and think about more often, is the big picture of things and our place in the universe and our place in our lives and the people in our lives and this whole thing. We get so bound up in these small things like, my luggage is lost. Yes, it sucks, but they'll bring it to you tomorrow. My luggage got lost once, and it didn't come till the next day. But I was still okay. Like, my luggage, it's for some reason it's in Baltimore, but tomorrow it'll be back. Okay, well, I have no control. That happened. It was in Baltimore. It got mislabeled. It was like, it's supposed to be in Little Rock. It's in Baltimore. Like, why is it in Baltimore? And so, it came the next day. The guy brought it, a guy got hired to drive it to me. Mm-hmm. So I didn't even have to go get it. It came to me. but it wasn't this instant gratification. I still had to wait. I had all that stuff. But in the big scheme of things, it didn't matter that much. And I think if we all just, when we have these moments of just huge impatience and these, in the greater view of your life, it's not that important. It's not that crucial. You don't have to have it this instant. Just kind of reset your perspective and just transform, like you say, transform this impatience into patience.
Mm-hmm.
Look at something else. Go read a book. Do something more constructive, or sit back and take a second to relax. Unplug. Sit in like yesterday, I ate dinner in the backyard, and usually I'm sitting here in front of my computer eating because that's what you do. But we ate on the back porch because it was a nice day, and all of a sudden this white poodle comes trotting around the back of the house out of nowhere, no collar, no nothing, and we're like, well, hey there, and we go out and start to pet it, and then her owner came up. It's like, I'm sorry, she got away. How are you? We had a nice little conversation. That's something I would have missed if I was sitting here staring into my computer screen.
Right.
And that's kind of I'm going off on a little tangents here, but I think that just kind of goes to show that like I said, life is the things that happens when you're waiting for other stuff to happen. Like there's a lot more to life than you get on your phone screen or your computer screen. And these little things that we go so bound up and angry about don't really matter in the greater scheme of things. We should just really take time. Take time and relax.
And as Marcone is talking, I'm being stared at.
I can see Spike on my camera is like staring. So cute. He's
really staring at me right now too. It's just hilarious. I know this is a sensitive topic, and then I don't know if there's anybody listening to this show who isn't at least slightly guilty of having impatient outbursts over things that may not have mattered. But you know what? It happens, and then we start over and we try again. And that is one of the things that I can't stress enough. Have a moment where it kind of gets out of hand. It doesn't take, okay, let's just try again next time. So, and you practice, and sooner or later it will get easier. And it's not perfect. So sometimes it'll slip up, like me trying to, not flip out in LAX. Yeah, that was. I will tell another part of that story when we get to Tell Us One Thing. But gosh. So if you guys have feedback for us about this discussion topic, we would love to hear it. You can go on to our Discord server, which is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2. You can send us an email, questions@taurenThinkTank.com. You can get on Twitter and tweet us at TaurenThinkTank. It's been a while, yo. It's been a while. Okay. Excuse me. I got the hiccups. Let's go ahead and jump into Tell Us One Thing, shall we? Because we've got lots of those to read, too. Jam-packed old show. Let's do this.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
My turn for questions this week, and so I came up with one from my own personal experience recently and one that I just thought was kind of cool. So question 1 this week was, what is the weirdest thing you've seen while traveling on an airplane?
I haven't really seen a whole lot of just bonkers weird stuff. I mean, I guess the weirdest thing might be where there was a lady who had a small toy poodle that she had underneath the seat in her like carrying bag, and the dog she like drugged the dog with Dramamine or whatever it is to kind of knock him out, make him kind of to where they're not as nervous on an airplane or anything. I don't really have a lot of like weird airplane stories because it's just I've had a pretty vanilla flying experience overall.
Okay. All right.
Haven't really had anything just super weird. It's always weird when someone starts talking loudly on the plane or arguing with a flight attendant, because then you get that whole like what is this kind of feeling? Like, why is someone arguing? You shouldn't be talking loudly on an airplane. That's like, fire in a theater type stuff. Like can't calm down.
Yeah, exactly.
Quit being so impatient. But yeah, I guess that's the weirdest thing. Other than just normal flight stuff, I haven't seen anybody get sick on the plane or anything weird like that. So, not not a good answer from me.
That's okay.
What about you, Jules? Since I know this is your question, you got
Yeah,
something to
because
say.
this came as a part of the trip home from Anaheim, which we went through LAX to Minneapolis, and normal boarding. We get on the plane, everybody gets their seats, and we push back and wind up sitting on the tarmac for an hour waiting to depart, which is no fun. So, most people on that plane I could see have been at least seasoned travelers. Like, they kind of knew what they were doing. And one of the cardinal rules before you take off is you don't get out of your seat. You don't get up. You do not get up. And this woman gets up and she goes to walk to the bathroom. And the flight attendants get on the loudspeaker and bark at her. Ladies and gentlemen, we are next to depart. We cannot do this without everybody in their seats. And she just like ba 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 to the bathroom and just ba 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 back to her seat. Just doesn't care. And so there's that. We finally take off. And I am in row 11, I think. We're in row 11. And so, there's that section that kind of splits the coach from the first class. And there's a wall. There's a wall that's like between those two spots. And so the people that were sitting on the aisle on the other side of me, I was on the right side of the plane, so this was the left side. The people sitting up against where that wall was kept putting their feet up onto the wall, stretching them straight, like on the wall. And there's two women doing this. And all I see are their freaking feet on the wall. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Why are you putting your feet on the wall? And they're just
stretching.
They're just hanging out, feet on the wall.
Yeah.
They don't give a crap. And about an hour later into the flight, all of a sudden the flight attendant comes on and she goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, nail polish and nail polish remover do damage to our air system and are prohibited to put it away." I'm not kidding.
They're doing their nails on the plane.
Somebody was doing their nails, and I think it was those two women with their feet up on the wall. And I was
just letting them dry.
I was like, what is this? Like, I don't understand. But the flight attendants were mean. This was just like the couple things. And the guy who was sitting next to me in the middle seat, I was on the aisle. He was cold, and he asked the flight attendant who was coming by with the drinks, taps her on the shoulder and says, "Do you have a blanket?" And she looks at him like he asked her to to ship an alien. She goes, "We haven't given out blankets in 15 years. It was so mean. Like, it was like this flight from hell. And I was like, I just need to get off this damn plane. I don't understand what's going on. What is wrong with people? So that was my weird flight thing. And then we asked you guys what you had, and there is the last one on this list is something I think is the weirdest answer to a Tell Us One Thing question we have ever gotten, and I cannot wait till we get to there, but there's plenty here. From GDS MGL, he says, "My wife says that she was traveling with her mother, but they had different seats because they booked last minute, and the guy sitting next to my wife was so drunk he was hitting on himself at 11 a.m.
Woo! Man.
I know!
He started really early.
Some people don't fly well, I guess.
Yeah. It depends on how early the bar opens at the airport.
Yeah, no kidding. And they open early.
Uh-huh. Tiber says, flying to Kuwait and Iraq in 2003 with my National Guard unit. All of us are carrying automatic weapons. We get notified we cannot bring knives, nail clippers, sharp objects, ... on the plane. Can't bring nail clippers, but automatic weapons
They're fine.
are okay.
They're fine. Oh, my Lord. From at Renee Added Again on Twitter, drunk guy, adamant the ocean we were flying over was red. I was a kid, and he started shouting because he was right. I agreed out of fear. Afterwards, he passed out drooling on himself.
All these drunk stories, man.
Stories, I know.
Marie Butt says, a guy was breaking rules and being entitled. and then a spider dropped down onto his shoulder.
Oh!
Airline spiders.
Airline spiders, no!
Spiders on a plane.
This one is in the wrong place. Let's see. Endymion? Endymion?
Endymion, yeah.
Endymion. My parents heard before they saw live crabs in a styrofoam box in the carry-on. This was on an international flight and a long, long time ago, but pretty weird. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be the person transporting them. Crabs with jet lag? No thanks.
Man, that is an interesting story, and now I'm hungry for Red Lobster. Thank you.
Red Lobster.
Now I'm hungry for crab legs. A Sparrow says, I'm not sure that it was weird, but I've seen a thunderstorm from above the clouds, which was amazing. A couple of years back, I had a 15-year-old kid apparently flirting with me, telling me that I was obviously younger than Adele. That was decidedly strange and weird.
Thunderstorms from an airplane are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
They're so cool. And if you've ever seen fireworks from a plane, flown on 4th of July, I've seen that too, and it's super cool. And finally, from Method Dairy, my dear friend Dairy, a grown adult feeding another adult baby food from a jar and then asking him if he made boom boom.
That's, you take the cake. You take the cake and the plate it was served on, because that is weird.
That is the weirdest tell us one thing answer I have ever received in 5.5 years of doing this show. And I laughed so hard when she sent this. I'm like, I can't wait to read this one. But I can't imagine actually witnessing that on a plane. Like, I know that there's people out there that have that fetish, and that's cool.
Yeah,
do your thing, but I can maybe not in public.
especially in a tightly controlled metal cylinder 35,000 feet above the ground. Because there's no escape. No escape.
No escape from that.
Bim said, leave the role play at home, folks.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, RP is fine, and your little sexual games are fine. Do what you want to do as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. That's truly what I believe. But that would weird me out if I saw that in person.
And I don't think you should say the word boom on an airplane either. Even...
And it's boom boom.
It's boom boom. It's twice as bad.
Oh my god. Oh, so there is your weird stories about airplanes, and then we get to a little bit more passive. Question 2. What is something you think everyone should do at least once in their lives?
Well, the easy answer would be see the solar eclipse, because that was and that's definitely one of them. Like I said earlier, bucket list, go see it, man, at least once in your life, because it's something not everybody gets a chance to do. I'm trying to think of like a deeper one to do than that. That's. Do you have one? Because I may think of one. Okay, you go and do yours, and then I'll do one.
Yeah, and it's something that I've said for years, and that is, I really do feel that everyone should live in a place other than where you grew up for at least a small portion of your life. And I'm talking like, if you grew up in like I say, you grew up in Arkansas, that you move out of Arkansas to someplace else. Because it really does, it changes everything. My worldview was completely turned upside down after I graduated college, and I moved from New Jersey, Pennsylvania when I went to college, and I moved to the Midwest. And it blew my mind how different it was, what the culture was like, the people. And so I do really feel like, even for a short time, sometime in your life, live someplace other than where you grew up.
I think that's good advice. It gives you a different perspective. And you can also, in another way, you could be an ambassador for wherever you grew up to someone else, because, man, there's misconceptions about Southerners, I tell you what.
Yeah.
But getting a chance to be an ambassador to change those just as much as you would change your misconceptions about a place that you move to. Others will have their misconceptions changed by your presence. So in that same vein, be a good ambassador of where you're from.
Yeah.
I think mine would be learn a musical instrument, play a musical instrument, because you don't have to be good at it. You don't have to be, you don't have to play guitar or drums. You don't have to be just like that, those kind of stereotypical rock music things. Like maybe try and learn a piano. I mean, play a slide whistle or anything. I mean, just try to understand music, because music is, I'm one of those people who music is my life's blood. It's how I communicate. It's how I feel. And even if you don't have this big, desire for music, at least maybe try to take some lessons or learn the basics, because it opens up a whole new world and a whole new appreciation for music when you do that. It's music and math are like the two universal languages across all cultures, because that's how that's how the soul speaks, is through music a lot of times. And of course math is math. So at least learn the language of music, learn how to play an instrument. It'll give you a greater appreciation for the music you hear. You'll understand the difficulties that it takes to be recording level good, and it's a wonderful thing to be. It's one of the greatest blessings of my life, is to learn to play music and to understand music. And I think that's something that everybody should at least dip their toes into.
Okay. And so we asked you guys, of course, and you said the following. GDS MGL said, whitewater rafting. Anyone wants to go? I will go with you. And he also said, go to a mixer at a senior center or retirement home and listen to their stories. There is so much knowledge that they have. Again, this one came from my wife. That is, I read that one right before we started this question, and that is a wonderful idea. Yep.
Because they've lived through the greatest times in the last 100 years that we've pretty much had in all of our history. So go listen to their stories.
If you have a living grandparent, if you still have a living grandparent, do that with your grandparent. I did that with my grandma when I was younger, and I asked her about her life growing up in Brooklyn, and it blew my mind. It was amazing, because you're a kid. You don't think about that stuff with your grandparents, and or a relative who is, if it's not a grandparent, and also with your parents. If your parents are still living, ask them those questions too, because man, there's stuff in there that you will find out that you just never had a clue.
I'm planning on doing that with my grandparents, but I'm also going to record it too.
Oh yeah. I had to do it for a school project with my grandma, and I wound up doing it past that. I wanted to learn more. I want to learn more about that stuff, so it was really cool.
It's a wealth of knowledge, that's for sure. Let's see here. Tiber. Let's see, which one are we at? Tiber, Tiber says snorkeling on a coral reef. Seeing them on TV is one thing, but doesn't match how incredibly beautiful they are in person.
Agreed. They are incredible. I've seen them in Hawaii, and that was amazing. Mammoth says everyone should be a tank for a raid team once. The fun/stress is unique. No, thank you.
It is unique. It very much is unique. I've done that. I did that back in ICC days.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Zedeca says, get out of your home country and experience a truly different culture. Even if it's just for a few days or a week, change your worldview.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I agree. I'd love to do that someday.
Yeah. When I was 15, I got a chance to go on a school trip to go to Russia, and talk about changing your worldview at 15. Holy crap. And
yes, comrade.
It changed my life, because communism was still in effect when I was there, and it was that trip changed my life. It was incredible. So agreed, Zedeca, completely. The Gulo13 on Twitter says, aside from paying it forward to someone, be a tourist where you live. I need to follow this.
Yes,
I need to do that.
It's awesome. I've been slowly trying to do that with Arkansas too, because I've lived here all my life. There's parts of the state I've never been to, and it's really good. Look at your home state or your home country or wherever you live with a brand new set of eyes and go experience it, because you can get kind of caught up in your day-to-day stuff.
So true.
So it's definitely I know I do too. I went to dinner with a friend of mine a couple weeks ago, and the waiter is kind of a foodie too, and he's worked at local restaurants. We were eating at a local restaurant, and he gave us a laundry list of about a dozen places I hadn't eaten at before that are just they're like mom and pop places, all different types of food, everything. And I was like, oh wow, awesome! So now I get to be a culinary tourist again, and I'm slowly going to tick them off my list. So
very cool.
That's something you should definitely try and do.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear your stories, Jules. So
yeah.
Tell me more about the Twin Cities.
I know. I live in Minneapolis, and I barely scratched the surface in checking it out. And, part of it is my own fear. I'm not comfortable kind of exploring new places by myself. I don't really like to have someone to do that with. And so, but then it's the, coordination to like get someone to go do that with me. And so, yeah, the single life can be a little daunting when you're a new person in a town. So, and you have a fear of doing it on your own.
Yeah. Well, if I come up to visit you and Pat again, we'll go do something. We'll go find a couple places.
Absolutely.
Go explore.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Marie Butts says visit Yosemite, or at least a national park if you're in the U.S., or an amazing natural beauty if you're elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I haven't seen Yosemite before, and I need to do that at some point.
Me too.
And Dimian says visit and walk Cradle Mountain National Park in Tasmania, Australia. It's awe-inspiring.
Sweet. Oh, I'd love to go there. I'd love to go to Australia anyway. And let's see.
I don't know who that was actually, but I must have gotten rid of their name. So whoever put that in there.
Some mysterious person said visit Fort Bragg, California, and its amazing glass beach. Don't take any of it.
Oh, that was Eiffels. Sorry, Eiffels.
Eiffels. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I just didn't add your name to that list there. Awesome.
Really good answer.
Really, really good answers, and I loved the answers to this question. This was really a good one for me. So, get you thinking about the bigger picture, like we were talking about earlier. So,
yeah, let us know if you do. Let us know if you do any of those things. Mm-hmm. We'd love to hear your stories about it too.
Absolutely. And definitely send us, continue to send us your awesome answers to Tell Us One Thing. We put up the questions every week when we're doing a show that isn't involving a guest. So we will have them, and we'll have that next week as well. And you can check it out on Twitter at Tauren Think Tank. You can find it on Facebook at facebook.com/Tauren Think Tank. And one of the most active places to answer Tell Us One Thing is Discord. And the quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2. Woo, that's a lot of talking. Okay.
It is.
We have an update from our letter writer from an episode with Nicole Duquesne talking about health and weight loss. We have that. We also have a feedback letter from one of you that blew me away while I was traveling. So let's go ahead and play the feedback bumper, and we will go there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you... Whoa, that's a lot of feedback.
It is a lot of feedback. Our
Lots.
Anonymous female writer wrote us back right after we published the episode with Nicole Duquesne, who was an incredible guest on the show. She was wonderful, and you guys gave us such really, really nice feedback about that episode. So thank you for that. And our writer came back to us and said, "Hello, Jules and Marconin. I wanted to express my thanks to yourselves and Nicole for reading and answering my letter last week on weight management. I just didn't realize how I view myself and what I think others see in me. It was heartwarming, and I genuinely teared up because it's so personal, and you were all very supportive and constructive. There was no judgment and no confirmation that I was doing this and that wrong. I think it's first time that I actually addressed all the feelings that I've been having. I felt alone, and I was too aggressive in how I was dealing with my weight and with myself, in sense that I just punished myself, might not be physically, but definitely mentally. An example of that would be leading up to that Thursday episode. I had migraines for a week, and I was off of work, and every single day I worried about how I didn't do my exercises and I'm falling behind, that I will struggle, and that the metabolism that I gained, if any, would be wiped off from my system. What I should have done and have done since that episode is given myself the time to heal and feel better. I still have the migraines, but they're very mild and I'm back at work and hopefully soon will be well enough to start exercising again. Once again, thank you for the very lovely and very helpful discussion. I've saved this episode so I can pick up all the tips and suggestions and work into my day-to-day life.
That's awesome.
And she detailed all the things she was planning to do to start more slowly, which I didn't include in the letter just for time. But I think that message of trying not to do it all at once and taking it slowly it was crucial. Like, I think that was huge.
Yeah, it's very hard, and I speak from personal experience, and this kind of ties into today's episode of instant gratification and impatience about wanting the results immediately, wanting to see the progress immediately. When weight loss is, my golly, it is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Yeah. So definitely taking your time, giving yourself time to heal, and slowly working back up to it is the way to go. And we're proud of you, and it's so awesome. I'm so glad that you wrote in, and thank you again for the update and for all the nice things you said about. And Nicole Duquesne was an amazing guest. So if you guys haven't heard that last episode, give it a listen.
Yes.
And yeah,
absolutely.
So good.
I know you guys really enjoyed talking to her, and so I know she'll be back again. She had a blast talking to us as well. So, and we also received a wonderful, unexpected letter from someone who has never written to us before. And we read it when I was on our trip, and it brightened my day. And
mine too.
And what was the subject line on that? Was it? Let me just double check, because it was just like, I read that subject line, I was like, it was, "Thank you for changing my life."
Yeah,
I was like,
I got it at work, and I had to stop and read it while I was at work because I saw that. It's like, wait a second, what?
So then you see that, and you're like, what is this letter? And this is what was waiting for us. Hello, Triple T. This is Alex from Taiwan. It's just an appreciation letter to your wonderful podcast. The Triple T program has changed my life dramatically over the past 4 years. And if you have a little bit of time, I'd like to share my story with you. I used to be a translator/interpreter, although I can humbly say that I'm good at what I do. It wasn't where my passion lied. So about 3 years ago, I decided to go down another career path and enrolled to become a social work student. I studied full-time and worked as a night shift cleaner to put myself through school. During the seemingly endless shifts of after-hours cleaning, it was your voices at Triple T that kept my head awake and my heart in the right place. When I was going through my studies, I was surprised to find similarities between social work theories and practice models and the stuff that you talked about on Triple T. The way that Jules and Marconin talked about discussion topics and answered listener-submitted questions resonated with a lot of the things that we're learning in social work. Skills like narrative therapy, counseling, problem-solving, task-focused practice, cognitive behavioral therapy, crisis intervention, empowerment, capacity building, just to name a few, as well as full-on empathetic approach. And I find it extremely helpful because I was able to take these abstract ideas and apply them to practice using real-life cases that are discussed in your show. Sorry it took me so long. I've been meaning to write to you forever. Listening to Jules and Marconin has been a weekly routine for me for over 4 years, but it took some courage to write back. I love how you address issues and struggles that people face. Having to deal with adult ADHD myself, I'm really thankful for the advice about seeing it as part of who I am rather than a disorder. I finished my master's degree in December of last year, and I'm now working as a social worker in the community/social housing sector in Canberra, Australia. Once again, love you both. Love the show and the community of Triple T. Maybe it was me, or maybe the culture was different in Taiwan, but I never experienced such a strong and supportive community back in my writing days. It put a smile on my face every time I see members interacting with the Triple T community. It's amazing how many people this show has managed to bring together. Love, BBC Alex. Oh, you're muted. You muted yourself. You're still muted.
Yeah. Sorry. Say thank you, Alex. I muted myself in case I had to cough or something during that. But thank you very much, Alex, for that letter. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm so it's blown away. Thank you so much.
It's an incredible letter. I can't thank you enough for writing it, for taking the time to share that with us. And like I literally read this as I was waking up to a busy day when I was about to go to work. And I read that subject line and I read that letter and I was like, this is why we do this. This is why we do this every time. And congratulations on changing your career, on doing something so challenging. I'm just happy we could be there to help you.
Absolutely. And you're getting lots of congrats and hearts and everything like that in the chat room too.
Yes. Yeah. The chat room supports you like crazy because that's what they do the best. And so thank you so much, BBC Alex. We're so happy to have you a part of our community.
Yes, we are.
And speaking of community, they have slash moves to give to the people in their lives that are most important to them. So we're going to read them right now. A slash move from Endemian to my mother-in-law for trying my favorite healthy sweet potato brownie that I brought to an afternoon tea party for an elderly diabetic relative. It took her 2 glasses of wine to get through her piece, a quarter slice, but she did it, and I love her for it. Thanks, Mom.
That sounds interesting. I like sweet potatoes. I wouldn't mind giving that
Sweet
recipe
potato
a
brownie
shot.
sounds good.
Yeah, I like both of those things,
Right.
brownies and sweet potatoes. From Noodles slash Moo to my boyfriend, who handles my ups and downs as I am my dad's caretaker for his prostate cancer. Just an update last week, his cancer finally stopped growing with new chemo treatment.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, that is awesome.
That's so great.
Slash Moo to your boyfriend, you, and your dad.
Yes, all 3. Most definitely big slash move to you guys. Endemian has a second slash move to my colleague who is taking steps that are scary and into the unknown to get one step closer to her ideal work life and work life balance.
Awesome. And finally, from Solomio, slash moo to the sun and the moon for the beautiful ballet that many of us got to witness.
Solomia, you're so poetic.
The beautiful ballet of the spheres in the sky.
Marcona is going into NPR voice, dude.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you
Tried
are.
and true NPR voice.
NPR voice.
We do have one from Draven Dresden with a wink. If you want to read it in the chat.
Slash moo to Illidan for standing up to anything that tries to subdue him. Aw, Illidan. You're a fighter.
That video gave me a lot of feels in a lot of ways. No spoilers, but
No spoilers.
Man. Jeez.
Oh my gosh, you guys. That's a show. We made a show.
What? That was a show?
That was a show and we made it. It's really long, but it was really good.
It's been so long since we had one.
I know.
It's been 2 weeks.
No, yes.
It's been a glorious show tonight.
It's been a glorious show. Yes. And I am so pleased that we have come back again to do it. And we have time to do another one next week. So there will be no missed show.
Yes.
Fair warning,
Yes.
there will be a missed show in September because I am going to be going to New Jersey to visit my family. And so I will not be able to do that. But I will have a show. We will have a show next week. And then I don't think the after one. And then it will be fine. And then we have guests coming up at the end of September. And we're really excited about them.
Yes, we are.
Yes. So boom, we're getting there. Whatchamacallit? Anything that you need to pimp for anything going on? Anything going on that you need to talk about? I'm trying to think. Like, were you on any shows? Was I on any shows?
I was not. Ben asked me to be on Azeroth Roundtable a couple of weeks ago, but I wasn't able to do it. So hopefully one of these weekends I'll be able to join Ben and John for Azeroth Roundtable.
Nice.
This weekend I am going to meet with a friend of mine. She has another friend who is an author, and they want me to do the voice of the main character in the audio dramatization of the book series.
Oh, nice.
So I get to kind of try on my voice. I kind of half impersonate Jesse McCree when I do my voice for that guy because he's a Southerner. So we'll see how that goes. It should be a great time. We're just going to hash that out and see how I can do with the audiobook stuff. So
Awesome.
That's something cool on the horizon.
Very, very
What
cool.
What about you?
Most important thing, talking again, reminder, the Convert to Raid Hurricane Harvey reliefs fundraising stream is on Monday. This is the 4th. It starts at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/convert to raid. We're going to be playing games together, and we're going to be raising money for Team Rubicon. You can go and donate right now if you'd like to support the fund. It is tinyurl.com/CTR Harvey Relief, and please join us while we play and to help out those who were affected by the tragedy of Hurricane Harvey. So we are very happy to be doing that on Monday to help.
Absolutely.
I was on Convert to Raid not this week, but the week prior, talking about all the Gamescom stuff. So check out Convert to Raid if you want to listen to more. I think the latest episode of what's my other podcast? Slaying Demons.
Slaying Demons.
Oh my God. Slaying Demons, that's probably coming up like soon, because I think Jocelyn was about to post the latest episode. That one is very political, though. I go off on politics, so be warned. And there you go. We'll be back next week, and we are in need of your discussion topics, your Triple T questions. So send them over to us. Otherwise, we make this stuff up and we do what we want to do. So.
And we'd rather do what you want to do, because you guys are the third chair. We want to hear from you. Yeah. Please write in if you've got an idea, if you've got a topic you want us to discuss, anything like that. It can be vague or specific. Just send it on in.
Yeah, we may ask you for more information, but this is
one time we don't want you to exhibit patience. We want you to be impatient in sending us your letters.
Send us your letters. Most definitely.
Now.
And with that, we're going to bring this show to a close, as we always do, just like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can also find us outside of the show on our website, taurenthinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too. And would you like some sweet Triple T merchandise? I know I would. In fact, I'm probably about to order another t-shirt for myself.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to get a sweet Triple T t-shirt, you want to get a sweatshirt, you want to get that Slash Moo mug or whatever, we got phone cases, notebooks, laptop cases, all that kind of cool stuff. You just go to taurenthinktank.com/store.
You'd think we hadn't done a show for a while. Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. I saw some new patrons come through today, and I'm so happy. I'm going to send you a thank you soon.
Thank you
so much for supporting the show. If you would like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, get some support, share some craft projects, share your cool cat and dog pictures, come to our Discord server. They're very cool people, and they're awesome. Quick way to get there, tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
You can also like us on Facebook, too, at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us on Twitter at 140 characters or less, at Tauren Think Tank for the whole show, at Jules RPG for Jules, and at Marconin Wow for me.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time. You can find our video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank if you want to watch us live and hang out in the chat room, or thanks for downloading us. We love you, however you listen to the show. We do. And
we love all you.
We do. Marconin.
Jules.
It was great to be back.
It's wonderful to see and talk to you again.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful to be back.
Spiritual experiences galore on this show.
Oh, yes. The beautiful ballet in the sky.
We'll be back next week, you guys, for myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. Until next time. /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 I was wondering where Spike went, and he's behind me over on this corner, which you can't see him. But I was like, where is the cat? Draven's got 11 titles? Really? The Beautiful Ballet in the Sky.
Oh.
Oh my.
Okay.
So apparently, since I was gone a couple days last week, Garrus has decided that my lap is his place to be when I'm supposed to be working. So so he jumps on my lap and like he likes to like he'll either sit on my lap or he'll sit across my chest and I have to hold him like a baby and cradle him so that he doesn't fall. And speaking of the little Garrus himself,
Here he is.
You heard your name, little man. And you heard your name, didn't you, you sweetie? Hi, baby. And he just likes to be held, and he'll just sit there. I had to actually like put him down earlier because I needed to like do stuff. I held him for 20 minutes, and I'm like, dude, I gotta go back to work.
I got stuff to do. I love you, but I got stuff to do.
Oh, hello, buddy.
Oh, there he is.
There's my baby. Yeah.
Oh,
Good boy. Yeah.
so cute.
That's my baby. Hi.
That was Pixie earlier today. She'll sit on the desk and like stand and just stare at me for 15, 20 minutes.
This is what he does too right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. Good boy. Oh. Yeah. Now you're going to climb up on my shoulder. I know. Hi.
He's like, want to sniff your face?
I want you to hold me on my This is new. This is something he has not done much of before.
Aw.
He's purring up a storm too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
All right.
see. We got Ysera in real life, a little something something. Eclipses, Star Dragons, and Patience. Right into my brain, Morpheus. We should be smarter than this. The Marconin to Jewel Spectrum. Boom Boom, twice as bad. You do you, Boom Boom. Keep the role play in the bedroom and off my plane. Naughty Hotel Part 2. CTR punches Invisible Rabbit. Details at 11.
Oh my lord. Oh, these are hard. This is hard to pick. You're bumping the microphone, dude. Yeah. You're bumping the microphone. You see the tail right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to balance. Marconi gets a good shot of this, but you guys can't see it very well. Yeah. There goes the mic.
He's like, attention.
I literally did this on my because I just summoned him. All right, let's see. I like Marconin to Jewel Spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty hair in the air. Yes, he's shedding like crazy. You do you, Boom Boom.
We could just title it. You could just title the episode "Boom Boom."
Boom Boom. I have a feeling that would actually really work. Let's just do that.
Just Boom Boom.
It's just Boom Boom. Yep. Thanks, Derry.
Oh, jeez. Boom Boom.
Boom Boom. That is just funny. I don't have anything else to say except that was just wow. Oh, you guys were so active in the chat room tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of the discussion and talking about these things with each other, with us. We can't, I've said this many, many times. I lack the ability to be able to type and talk at the same time. So I can't respond to all the stuff. I see everything you guys say. So when we see it, we see everything that you type. So you just can't acknowledge all of it or else there'd be no show.
Yeah.
So otherwise there would be dead air and it would suck.
This is what the YouTube thing is. What reminds me when I hear Boom Boom.
What is
It's
this?
just it's John Lee Hooker's song "Boom Boom."
Oh yeah. Yes.
Boom,
I always think of
boom, boom.
I think of boom boom boom. Let's go back to my room where we could do it.
Oh yeah.
That's what I think
What?
of.
What is that from? Is that? Was that Venga Boys?
I have no idea who that is actually. Somebody's gonna know.
Let's see here. I'm listening to it now. It might be it.
Who is it?
Is it? Venga Boys?
Oh.
That's what I'm listening to now, but I can't hear the lyrics.
So the boom.
Yeah.
Out Here Brothers? No, that's not it. No, that's not it.
Okay, that might be another one then. Okay. Let's see. I do like that song, Draven. Just shake your rope. I do like that song.
It's not Boom Boom Pow. No.
I got that boom boom pow. There's
No.
something jacking my style. That's from what are they called?
That's
Gosh,
Black
I
Eyed
don't
Peas.
Black Eyed Peas. Yeah, I was like, I haven't heard them in years. Who are they?
All right, let me see if I can do this. Searchlyrics.com.
Apparently, a lot of people. Oh yeah, this is it. I think Paul Lakakis. Boom boom. Let's go back to my room.
So we can do
Bimley.
it all night. Yeah.
Okay, that's a different. Yeah, that's.
Oh, yep, that's it. That's it.
I like how the album cover. He's like holding, like neon lights.
Yep, that's it. That's the one. Oh my gosh, I don't even know who that guy is, but that song, like I know that one. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go back to my room. Yeah, totally 80s, and but that's what I associated that with. Because, you know, broken brain. So. We so lame.
Oh.
We so lame. That intro is so long.
Catchy song. Awful YouTube comments underneath it. Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's awesome, you guys.
That is a very long intro. I had to cut like 2 minutes ahead just to hear some lyrics. Oh,
that's hilarious.
it
You made
does
me
look
look
like
a scrawny doppelganger.
It does. I must break you.
I must break you. I must break you. Okay, all right, we're out of here. Hopefully we'll see you guys on Monday night. Come play some games. Let's go help some people in need who have been affected by Hurricane Harvey. So we will see you then. It's going to be on the Convert to Raid stream. And Marconan and I will be back on Thursday. So have
we will.
Fabulous holiday weekend if you are off and not going to work and you're in the U.S. And we'll be back on Thursday.
Yes, we will. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Slash
Moo.